Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to the Holy Smokes Barbecue channel. Today we are making a smoked homemade pimento mac and cheese. Now listen, I love pimento cheese. Growing up in the South, I used to get down on some pimento cheese sandwiches. Now you can just go to the store usually and just buy some pre-made pimento cheese, but today we're gonna make it homemade right here. We're gonna put it in this delicious mac and cheese mixture. We're gonna toss it on the smoker. It's gonna be incredible. So enough talking, let's make some mac and cheese. All right, to get started here, we're going to just make a simple roux. And I'm gonna do it right here outdoors on my portable burner. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just melt this stick of butter. All right, so with our butter melted, I'm gonna make sure that heat isn't too high. And I'm gonna start to add in 3/4 of a cup of flour. Just like that. Gonna add it a little bit at a time, just whisk it in here. The trick with these outdoor ones is that sometimes they can get really hot, so I'm going to put this on actual, like the lowest possible heat that it'll go on, because I don't want to actually burn the flour in here. I'm going to keep stirring it all times. This is going to be the basis for our delicious cheese sauce. Add some more. Add the rest here. Now I know this doesn't look like much right now, but I'm gonna let it sit here and cook for about 5 minutes or so just to get the taste of raw flour out of it. Now since this burner does kind of have a mind of its own when it comes to temperature, I'm gonna sort of remove it from the heat a little bit, continue to manipulate it just a little bit here, then I'll just kind of put it on and off the heat for about 5 minutes or so, just to, again, get that taste of flour out of it. All right, it's been about 5 minutes, so now I'm gonna go ahead and start to add some elements that are gonna turn this into a sauce. So I'm gonna add some milk, and I'm gonna add 6 cups of milk. So it's gonna be about 1.5 of these little containers that I have. I'm not gonna add it all at once because I don't want it to burn. So I'm just gonna add a little bit at a time, and I'm gonna stir. And little by little, it's gonna adhere. It's gonna get a little bit heavier, but it's gonna really thin this out. And believe it or not, this is eventually going to look like a sauce. I'll spare you the sound effects because as good as it's going to taste, it sounds gross. We're thinning out here. Let's add the remainder of this carton. All right, I'm actually going to leave it there for right now. I might add more milk if I notice that the sauce is too thick in the end, but right now I'm going to let this simmer for about 5 minutes, and then we'll be back to take our next step. All right, as you can see, I changed course a little bit because the saucepan that I had was just not big enough for what is about to happen to this cheese sauce, and it wouldn't be a cheese sauce without cheese. I have here 12 ounces of shredded sharp cheddar cheese. I'm just going to add this a little bit at a time to this mixture and whisk it all in. So we'll start. In my experience, you're always going to have better luck if you shred the cheese yourself. Store-bought shredded cheese is good for a lot of things. It just doesn't seem to melt really well. It's got all the preservatives and stuff in it that really make it difficult to melt, especially in an application like this. Just get the rest of it in there. We can start to see the color changing a little bit as that cheese begins to really melt in there. All right, while my cheese sauce mixture and the apparent landscaping people do their thing, I'm going to get started on our next ingredient, which are these sliced pimentos. Now, a pimento is just another form of a red pepper, red chili pepper, and I learned that if you've ever had paprika, you've actually just had dried pimentos. These are actually a little bit bigger than I'd like, so I'm gonna use this whole jar, but I'm gonna put them on my cutting board here, and I'm actually going to slice them up just a little bit more. So you can see that's about how big they are, and I don't want them that big. All right, so just taking my knife, just gonna sort of chop these up a little bit. They don't have to be super tiny, but I don't want them super large. All right, I think that's good. And now we're back to our cheese sauce, and as you can see, it has thickened up nicely. That consistency, oh, beautiful. Just a little bit of cheese left in there to melt. I really hope my neighbors have an immaculate lawn. Thank you, Mr. Lawnscaping Man, from the Holy Smokes Barbecue channel. All right, we're ready to add our next ingredients to our cheese sauce. First, let's throw in our pimentos. Just like that. Those are beautiful. Smells beautiful too. To that, I'm gonna add about half a cup of sour cream. And finally, 2 tablespoons of my favorite seasoning ever, the Pit Boss Sweet Heat Rub. And that is all that I have left, is about 2 tablespoons. Just incorporate all that together. All right, this pimento cheese sauce is done. I'm gonna go ahead and remove it from the heat, and then we'll move to our next step. All right, now to my cheese sauce, I'm gonna add 1 pound of this cavatappi pasta. And this is gonna just be my noodle of choice for this macaroni. So that's just gonna go right in there. Just cooked it per the instructions on the package. Now let's just get that all mixed in there. Woo, look at that. Oh man. I like to try to tell myself that calories on the smoker don't count, but man, this might have to be cheat day. All right, now, believe it or not, you could just eat this like it is, but there's no way that having a smoker here, I'm just gonna leave this like it is. So, let's get this to its next step. Cast iron skillet, one of my all-time favorite cooking tools, and we're gonna dump our mac and cheese mixture right in. Look at that. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. All right. Let's just kind of spread that out a little bit. It's taken a lot of self-control to just start eating this now, but I know that when I'm about to put it on the smoker, it's gonna just take it to that next level. All right, my Pit Boss Platinum Lockhart is sitting at 350 degrees, and we are ready for this mac and cheese to go on. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. Here comes that beautiful mac and cheese. Man, I think it's heavy. Smoking today using the Pit Boss Gourmet Blend pellets. It's a beautiful blend of different woods. It's really gonna make this taste delicious. I'm gonna leave it on for about 45 minutes. Then we're gonna come back, take it off, do a couple other things to it, stick it back on, and then we'll be done. So 45 minutes at 350, here we go. All right, after 45 minutes, let's take a look at our pimento mac and cheese. Oh man, look at that. Oh, the beautiful color, the bubbling of that cheese. Some of those noodles on the top are starting to brown because of just that intense smoke that's been hitting it for the last 45 minutes. But now we're gonna do one more thing to it before we are ready to eat it. So let's take it off the smoker for just a second. All right, real quick, while it's still bubbling, I'm gonna add, yes, you guessed it, more cheese to the top. Oh, because why not, right? More cheese. And I'm gonna add some panko breadcrumbs right to the top, just like that. I got about a cup of panko breadcrumbs. Now what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna toss this back on the smoker just long enough for these breadcrumbs to brown and that cheese to melt, which is probably gonna be about 15 minutes or so. Then we're gonna take it off, and you guessed it, it's gonna be time to eat. All right, everybody, look at this. Wow. Woohoo, look at that. Look at how absolutely gorgeous that is. You can see the color on the top from the smoke. That cheese on top is just melted. Those breadcrumbs, those panko crumbs are just nice and brown. Oh, this looks absolutely delicious. I cannot wait to dig in. All right, it's time to try this incredible mac and cheese. I feel like I've been waiting forever. Hasn't really been that long, but that's what I feel like anyway. Probably because it just looks so delicious. Oh man, the crunch from the breadcrumbs. This pimento mac and cheese. Oh, look at that. Woo! Is it too early to say holy smokes? I think it probably is. You can see the nice little size of those diced up pimentos in there. Oh, this is gonna be so good. All right, it is my absolute favorite time of every single video that I do. It is time to taste this delicious smoked pimento mac and cheese. This has been one of the hardest ones to resist because remember, it was actually kind of done before we even put it on the smoker, but I can't wait to see what having it on the smoker actually did to it. So here we go. Time to taste. It's delicious. Smoked pimento mac and cheese. I'm gonna get some of the breadcrumbs there. Actually, also just love mac and cheese. Who doesn't love mac and cheese? Mac and cheese is delicious. Here we go. Actually, before I eat this, I gotta show you what it looks like. Look at this. Look at that bite. Whew, look at it. I should play some kind of like, I don't know, like provocative music or something right now. All right, here we go. It's gonna be so hot. Oh my gosh. Wow. Those pimentos added so much more flavor than I thought they were going to. Tastes like when I was little eating a pimento cheese sandwich, just like in macaroni form. Wow, that is so good. And it wasn't that hard to make, and it didn't even take that long. Probably about like an hour cook time. This is one of those things that I gotta actually try again. Because that crunch, the crunch of the breadcrumbs, it almost just made like a whole crunchy layer on top. So good. Holy smokes, holy smokes, holy smokes. All the holy smokes for this. Woo! Try it. You're probably gonna say holy smokes yourself when you try this dish. It's amazing. Well, hey, thanks once again for tuning into the Holy Smokes Barbecue channel. If you like this video, make sure that you click that little thumbs up, give us a like, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. I don't know why you wouldn't be, but please subscribe to the channel. Turn on the post notifications. Click that little bell to make sure you get notified as soon as we post something here. And hey, if you like this video and you like cheese, check out one of these other dishes that we've made here, specifically involving cheese. Who doesn't love cheese, right? And hey, I'll see you next time.